My name's David and I'm a project worker for Total Voice Lincolnshire.
Hello, my name's Laura Wainwright and I'm a project support worker at Total Voice Lincolnshire. We are an advocacy and involvement service. So I'll pass you back over to David.
So we have Jay, who is an older man of 84 who lives in a large residential care home. A year ago, a stroke left him unable to communicate with staff in the home. Recently, he tried to show staff that he wanted to go back to his home by walking out of the home and resisting efforts to return to the residential care home. Staff are concerned for his safety and whether he understands his actions and has capacity to make decisions about returning home. Where he would be living on his own, an assessment under the Mental Capacity Act 2005 deprivation of liberty safeguarding has indicated that he lacks capacity to make such decisions. So staff have returned Jay, restrained Jay and added locks to his room, but Jay still seems very unsettled in his behaviour. The residential care staff has contacted the Advocacy service for advice. What are the main issues involved?
So David, what do you think are the main issues involved in this case study?
I think he's unhappy. He's clearly very unhappy at the care home.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously doesn't understand that the care staff are trying to do what's best for him.
Okay.
And they could do with maybe finding ways for Jay to communicate with them, so they could sit down with him and explain to him what would maybe be best for him.
Mm-hmm. So then that would exploring how to communicate with Jay would maybe try and help people understand why he's unhappy and what people could do to support Jay to be more happy and look at things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So, what an advocate might do is to look at the dolls that has been put in place and to raise issues regarding restraint, which has been mentioned. Is it the least restrictive way that this is done, and is it safe, and is it in Jay's best interest, and explore how that's being approached by staff at the residential care home.
Yeah.
And also in relation to the locks in his room, because you mentioned that you think that Jay's unhappy. I don't think I'd be too happy if I was locked in my room neither.
No.
So then it's about exploring if that's done in a least restrictive way as well.
Yeah.
And if Jay's made aware of this, and then it comes back to what you said earlier, David, in terms of communicating with Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supporting him to understand maybe why this has happened, and trying to explore his capacity around that as well.
Yeah.
Also as well, what type of ways could Jay communicate, do you think?
Maybe through pictures,
Mm-hmm.
sign language, so Makaton, widget.
Yep.
Maybe through pictures.
Yeah.
So if we laid pictures maybe out on the desk of different things, he could maybe pick the things that he's not happy with,
Yeah.
and maybe communicate to him that way.
Okay.
Or maybe look at seeing if there's any funding from anywhere to sort of get him like a voice synthesizer for him. Okay,
brilliant. So for an advocate to learn more out about Jay, especially with communication issues, I think it's important that the advocate gets to know Jay as well, isn't it?
Mm.
So that would be spending time with him, watching, observing and learning a little bit more. And also maybe sort of communicating with Jay's circle of support, so people that know Jay, so we can learn a little bit more about how he likes to communicate.
So it could be maybe communicating, if he's got one, with his, maybe even talking to his family.
Maybe, yeah. But it's important that we remain focused on working with Jay and what
Yeah.
his decisions and
Yeah.
his choices and how he feels as well.
Yeah.
And one final thing would be that maybe to explore with Jay other options of maybe visiting home if that was to make him more happy as well. So he
Yeah.
might not be moving back home, but maybe having more visits back home if that would be appropriate for
Yeah.
Jay and the people back at home.
Mm.